Crabtree in the corner. Crabtree with a fantastic catch. Fires, got his man. Crabtree inside the 40. Crabtree with a nice move. Cuts back, picks up a blocker. Inside the 20. Down the sideline. Touchdown.
Texas Tech has the distinction of being the only Big 12 school to have a winning record in every single season of the Big 12's existence. Not Oklahoma, not Texas, but Texas Tech. They won 9 games a year ago, and there are, what, 36 reasons, Ed, to think that they may win more than that this season?
Yeah, 36 of 44 starters are back. For
starters,
Texas, excuse me, 36 of 44, they're two
top
deep.
players, yeah.
But, boy, Michael Crabtree, and Tom, I know you agree with this, the best receiver in the country talent-wise.
Dynamite. And then you got Graham Harrell, who needs 42 touchdowns to tie, 43 to break Colt Brennan's NCAA record for career touchdowns. Could happen. And this offense, 470 passing yards a game last season, easily.
Could happen by week 8.
Absolutely, could happen. Going to be a dynamite team, especially if they get any defense. Here you go, Harrell to Crabtree from the spring game today, 6 catches, 54 yards, touchdown.
Well, see, they get the ball in the hands of the playmakers and then let them do all the work. Get them in space. That's what Crabtree does.
So difficult to defend when you got 5-6 guys just crisscrossing in front of everybody, and then Harrell to Aaron Crawford, the sophomore, for the touchdown.
Part of this offense that is overlooked year in and year out is their running game. It's not big numbers, but it's always efficient.
Torian Henderson, for instance, dynamite part of that team the last few years. As Harrell goes for 209, a touchdown and a pick. Talking Texas, new addition to that defense, Luke's.
Well, Will Muschamp, obviously the enthusiasm, and I think a lot of pressure up front in front 7. You're going to see a lot of interesting packages. Colt is back and healthy, and what are they going to do at running back with Jamal Charles gone?
Texas, perhaps a huge part of the Big 12 South picture. We're joined right now on college football final by the head coach of the University of Texas Longhorns, Mack Brown, joining us. Coach, it's great to have you with us. Now, you guys have been finished with spring ball for about 3 weeks now. Looking back at your 15 days of practice, what sticks out to you the most?
Dari, I think the attitude of the team. Since the national championship, we've been more inconsistent than we would like to be. We've played hard, but we haven't always played great. We haven't always played with the emotion that we would like. And we've seemed to have been involved with more injuries. So we had a real physical spring. It was a challenging spring. We pitted ones against ones and tried to bring out competition in everything we were doing from the off-season program through spring just to make sure we get our edge back.
Well, in your offensive backfield, of course, a big piece is missing. Jamal Charles leaves after his junior season. That is a 3,300-yard rusher over his 3 seasons. Where do you stand on replacing him at tailback?
Well, we always want what's best for our guys, Dari. And number one, if he felt like it was best for him to go to the NFL, we're excited about Jamal and a few other Longhorns next week in the draft. So that'll be fun to watch and follow. But last year, Vondrell McGee played a lot along with Jamal. He's tough. He's fast. He's done a good job for us. Chris Obanai has played a lot for us. He's been our specialty back with third down situations, and Chris is in great shape now at about 218 pounds. I think Vondrell's about 2'9", and then a young man named Fozzie Whitaker that redshirted last year had a good spring. So at Texas, we should not be in a position where if a young guy decides to leave us early, we shouldn't have an outstanding player ready to step up and play well. And so we're excited about watching these guys next fall.
And, Coach, at quarterback, obviously you have Colt McCoy entering his junior season, but you've also got a dynamite playmaker by the name of John Childs sitting behind him. How much do you think we might get to see him in-game action in a bit of a 2-quarterback system?
Well, we are looking at it, Dari, as we speak, and we've talked to Colt, and Colt knows how great an athlete that John is. We've talked to John, and John knows how great a quarterback right now that Colt is. So we've encouraged Colt to get stronger and do a better job of protecting the ball when he runs, and we're working with John to get better in the passing game. But we might even see him in the game at the same time some next year.
That would be awfully fun to see that. Now, on defense, Will Muschamp comes over from Auburn. We've seen this before, Auburn to Texas as defensive coordinator. Coach, what does he bring to the Longhorns?
He brings a world of experience, a national championship at LSU. He's worked for some great coaches, Roy Kidd, but obviously you look the last two, Nick Saban and Tommy over at Auburn. They were great defensive coaches. Then he worked with Nick with the Miami Dolphins. So he brings a great mix of the Nick Saban, Bill Belichick defensive system used in the pros, but also now probably adjusted to college because we've got less time. Andy brings a lot of energy. Will's a very smart young man. I think he's a superstar in the business. He's a very tough guy. He brings that energy, but at the same time, he's really, really positive, and he and our other 3 defensive coaches have worked really, really well together, and we're excited about our defense next year, even though we've got only 4 returning starters.
Mack Brown, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. Best of luck in 08.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate what you do, Dari, for college football, and we all enjoy watching ESPN.
Coach, it really is a major team effort here for college football at ESPN.
Take it all, Darn. Take it all.
I would love to take all the credit, but I certainly can't. We look at the Big 12, and we look at the South specifically. We saw Texas Tech, dynamic offense, difficult to stop. Maybe if they get some defense, could they make this a 3-horse race with Oklahoma and Texas?
You know, I really think they can. Ruffin McNeil, the defensive coordinator who came in last year after the Oklahoma State game, everybody forgot because of the blow-up in the other locker room. There were some blow-ups in Texas Tech's locker room after that loss, and Ruffin McNeil took over as a defense coordinator. Listen, we all know what they can do on offense. At times, they are unstoppable, but they made little baby steps along the way. We said a moment ago, 36 of their top 44 players are back. I got to know Ruffin McNeil last year, sat down, talked to him during the transition period. I really think this guy can start to improve that defense, and I do think this may be the year where we have a 3-horse race in the South.
Well, I'm keeping a close eye on the North, and one of the reasons is I really am looking to see how Missouri handles an expectation level that has not been present in Columbia, maybe ever. Everybody had been waiting for Missouri and Gary Pinkel to get over the hump and challenge in the conference. They did that a year ago, and in doing so, they set the bar high. Chase Daniels back, Jeremy Macklin, the electrifying playmaker, but now they go in and everybody nationally is looking at Missouri as potentially being a preseason top 6 or 7 pick and a potential national title contender. And when you haven't been there before, Gary Pinkel knows this as well as anybody. How will your team respond when the pressure is on to perform every week, not just get to a point where you get over the hump? That's going to be fun to watch.
They get a bit of an early test, too, with Illinois on the non-conference schedule as well. Lots more still ahead because we've got helmets